Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Alpha Efficiency. And today I wanted to talk about the backlinks. A lot of you have heard me talk about the backlinks on Twitter, if you've followed me over there. And backlinks have been a cornerstone of my career for the past 15 years. And there's a lot of misconceptions about them that I will reveal in some future videos. But in this video, I want to explain how backlinks work and what is the overlap between Twitter algorithm and social media algorithms in general? How do they overlap to the algorithm of search engines, and in particular, how do they overlap with the Google's algorithm? There's a lot of similarities because these algorithms are making the decision on which content is valuable and in what instance is this content valuable. So the goal of social media platforms is to serve you the content that they have calculated as the most optimal content for you that you will engage with. So if the social media platforms increase engagement that you have, if they prolong your stay on the platform, they will be able to sell you more ads, right? So this would be reflective on Twitter or on Instagram and Facebook. And all this content is very short-lived. So they're trying to provide timely content that's relevant to right now. And they're trying to lock you into the network, and they try to have you use the platform more by giving you the content that you respond to in the best possible way. Well, Google's goal is slightly bit different. Google wants to serve you the content that they believe will give you the highest engagement and that will allow them to sell more ad space, right? So they've created these tools like Search Console and similar that are allowing the website creators to determine how good the content is. And when they find that your content piece is good and relevant to their searchers, they want to serve it. However, Google has a challenge of indexing the entire web, and then the other challenge of finding what is relevant for their customers or to their product, which is the humans that are paying attention to the search queries, to the search, what people are typing into the search. So you can see the trigger mechanism for Twitter, like I want to see what's happening on Twitter, so I pull it up and I'm like scrolling through the things that are supposed to be relevant to me or are relevant to the users of the platform in mass. When it comes to Google, it's much different, right? They're trying to serve the customer with the particular information that they're looking for, and they're doing this in a very cost-effective way, especially compared to AI, for example. So they're serving very particular information that they believe that this particular searcher would benefit from. So Twitter is using likes, retweets, and replies as a means of figuring out what is relevant content. The same goes for other social media platforms as well. For Google, the most important thing that they're trying to evaluate is which content is trustworthy, and does the search end on this topic with this particular query. So if your content piece is the last content piece that they will consume, Google will find this piece of information is valuable and they'll try to position your page higher up. But Google doesn't have likes, retweets, and comments like Twitter does, so they use backlinks. And backlinks have been traditionally used to determine the authority of the websites so that Google can, with more ease, determine which content they need to place over there. So in this sense, especially with the AI, content creation became very cheap. So you can create the on-point content relatively easily, but is this content trustworthy enough? And how often does this website produce content that Google searchers like, trust, and enjoy? And then when it serves them, they know that the searchers' needs have been met, and they're providing with the best piece of content. But given that a lot of content pieces are fairly similar, so when you have a first page of Google search results, you will realize that top 20 pages that are ranking on Google are very similar to each other. They have an overlap of the content. Some of them have a little bit of a different viewpoint, and then you can find yourself finding 3 or 4 articles that are relevant to you. So as you have this relevance between these articles, it's relatively easy to create or recreate that content piece that is similar to all the other ranking pieces. So the content is not the differentiating factor anymore. The backlink is. So what in fact would be a comparison to the backlink from the side of the social media? I would say the equivalent of a backlink in social media world would be a follow. And not all follows would be created equally, right? So, and in this particular case, you can observe every search engine page, every search engine results page, you can observe that page as a mini social media, right? Where the links are the follows for that particular page. And the followers of that page don't have to be particularly about that page. It can be about correlating topics around that particular topic that people are searching for. So let's say Alpha Efficiency is ranking #1 for custom coded websites, and we have pretty good links pointing to our page, and our content is relatively similar to all the other content that is out there on that particular topic. So maybe slightly longer, slightly more authoritative than the other content pieces per the algorithm. But the other differentiating factor is that the links are passing on that trust. And the link itself could be a social media follow, right? So these links are establishing this authority that is the equivalent of the follow. But when a user is scrolling through, when you're posting a piece of content on Twitter, it is very different when you get a retweet from an account that has 100 followers and the account that has 100,000 followers. These signals are used by social media to know to how many people they need to distribute that content piece to, versus on Google, they need to know where do they place you on the first page of the results. So that is the backlink equivalent would be a follow, and a retweet would be a backlink in the Google world. Also, the quality of the backlink really matters, right? It's not the same if let's say someone who is authority on copywriting retweets your content piece that's about the web design. There's not a lot of overlap. So when this person retweets this piece, it doesn't pass on a lot of engagement, because his audience is talking about copywriting, they're not interested about the websites. The same translates over into the backlinks world. Let's say if you get a backlink from a dental clinic that talks about the web design, that link is not going to be as authoritative as the link that comes from, let's say, a web design agency that's very established that's linking to another content piece that talks about web design. This link is going to have much higher attribution in the terms of the value passed on to that particular page and its search engine rankings. So even if you have two very strong links pointing to the page, if there is no contextual relevance between these two topics, it won't matter for the rankings. So I think that this is creating a lot of ambiguity when people are trying to do the backlink acquisition, whether they're doing it in a white hat, gray hat, or black hat manner. You will find that a lot of companies that are selling links that are not highly relevant for their customers, because the link acquisition and the value that they're trying to sell is typically based on the authoritativeness of the site that they're acquiring the link from, but they're not really focused on the contextual relevance. So I think that a guest posting, which is somewhat black hat, somewhat white hat strategy, it really depends on the viewpoint of who you are talking to. If you're talking to John Mueller, he'll say guest posting is bad, etc. But guest posting allows you to have a content piece that is relevant, linking over to the page where you want the link to be placed. So when you take these two things in consideration, you're starting to realize that backlinking has a lot of challenges that are coming with it. And I hope that this social media comparison does allow you to gain a little bit of a deeper insight into how Google qualifies the link quality that's pointing to a page. I would say the majority of the links that are acquired from the backlink vendors whether they're sourced ethically, unethically, or any other shape or form, are not really driving a lot of value. That's why where a lot of white hats are talking against backlink building, they have a lot of merit because majority of the link transactions that are happening on the internet are not done very thoughtfully. They have no follow through on how this link value is being passed. So link acquisition is very challenging, and it's something that actually drives the highest return on investment when done properly, whether it's for ranking a particular page or passing the authority of the entirety of the website. So if you don't know how to do the link properly for specific pages of your site, the next best thing would be to focus on building the efforts towards your homepage so that you can strengthen the entire footprint of your website by passing authority to the site as a whole as opposed to the individualized page. The more relevant links you have, the higher authority footprint you will have, and Google will reward you with more traffic. But then again, at the end of the day, you will have to follow up with the high quality content on that particular page that is supposed to rank. I hope this answers a lot of questions about the backlinks. I know I've been talking about them quite a bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please hit like, subscribe, or ask me any questions that you may have about the backlinks in the comments. If you leave me your Twitter handle or your email or something that I can contact you, I can elaborate in more details about your particular use case. All right, Alpha Efficiency, Brian Georgievich, over and out.